Good afternoon, happy crafters, how are you all? Thank you so much for joining me, Toni Darroch, in my live studio. I am so pleased the studio is back to normality. For how long, I'm not sure, but fingers crossed we get through today's studio. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Toni Darroch and I'm a guest presenter over on Creating Craft. And I love anything to do with stamps, dies, anything crafty, anything arty. And the purpose of this studio is to encourage you guys at home to maybe pick up a paintbrush, try something you wouldn't traditionally do, and I'm here to try and inspire you. Maybe if you've lost your mojo, we've got to get it back. It's there somewhere, we will find it. So there's a couple of things I need to tell you about. If you are watching over on Facebook, don't forget to drop a comment. We always give the studio makes away. So if you do pop a comment on there, a lucky winner will receive one of our cards. And if you're watching over on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button. This is really important to us because it ensures we know that we're growing and people are watching, and it's also important to share whatever we're doing. So what you as a crafter might do at home, the lady next door might be doing something different. So it's all about sharing our techniques and what we can do and what we all love, what gets us through the day, should we say. So there's a couple of things I just want to cover today. Thank you if you have bought our members gift. A lot of you have already been making your makes and showing them on the Eureka fan page. The makes are amazing. I am so proud of you all for one, having a go, and two, trying the techniques that we do live in studio or on my quick videos. So keep them coming because I love to see them all. So don't forget also there is a coordinating die available for that stamp. So if you're not a fussy cutter and you want to get the die, there is a coordinating die available as well. This is something new to us, something we're trying. I think so far it's been successful. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future we'll be able to do more for you. If you did buy the stamp, you will have had one of these posh leaflets in there. And it was just a little leaflet to tell you about obviously the coordinating die that is available. And on the reverse, there is some information on here that I just wanted to quickly talk you through because I've had a lot of questions and a lot of emails about where's this free stamp in May, what's going on, how does it work. I'm just going to tell you quickly how it works. So to get your free stamp in May, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our newsletter. Now both of those are really easy. You go to YouTube and you click the subscribe button. That's you subscribed. Then to subscribe to our newsletter, all you need to do then is go to our homepage of our website, and down the left hand side there is a newsletter subscription. All you do is pop your email in there, done. Then when the gift goes live in May, we send you a code through your email, and that code will then allow you to redeem your free gift once it goes live. There are some terms and conditions on there, i.e. one per member and things like that, so I encourage you to read the terms and conditions. So just stand by until May. As soon as it goes live, you will be sent a code and then you will be able to redeem your free gift for doing two of those things. So that's what I just wanted to cover. If there are any questions, you know you can catch us on the Eureka fan page, or you can give us a call here at Stamps by Me. So that's that. So that's enough waffling, I think, for the first 5 minutes. Let's crack on to do what we came to do. So first of all, I'm going to do two quick cards today, hopefully, because as you all know, I've got to get on the road and I'm live on Creating Craft tonight at 8 PM with some fabulous Christmas stamps. Now they are our earlier designs, however I will tell you now that these designs that we're doing tonight at Creating Craft work with our brand new launch as well, and I think they're going to be at a knockout price as well. So if you're new to Stamps by Me and bought our members gift for the first time and have enjoyed it, this might encourage you to try something else that we have created in the past, and I've got some cracking demos to show you all too. So for the first demonstration then, I am going to use the members gift. I know a lot of you have been watching the videos and I know a lot of you have been making makes already, but this is a stamp and this is the coordinating die. Now if you haven't got the members gift, all you need to do is be a member over on Creating Craft and pay the £2.99 postage and you receive this lovely stamp. If you do want the coordinating die, that is available also. So if you see this, you'll probably see this is connected to it. This is not a necessity, but this is your free gift, so please give it a go. It's £2.99 postage and it is a £17.99 stamp, and it is what we would normally sell at £17.99. So I'm going to use the stamp today, and as you can see, mine is well loved. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka And I've just got a piece of watercolour card here. I'm just popping it in the Eureka. And I'm just going to use the large floral stamp from the gift. So I'm just going to go for it. It's going to be a top folding note card, so I'm going to go over the corner here. Get as much as I can on there. I'm going to pick up the stamp. So because I'm going to do some heat embossing, I am going to use my anti-static bag. Now this is a necessity. If you're new to crafting, please get one of these. It makes your artwork way tidier. So none of the messy prints, it gets rid of any moisture in your cardstock. Now I'm going to use a sticky ink pad, and this is Versamark. So just going to ink this up. So lots of light taps all over the stamp. I'm just going to stamp this one out. I'm just going to do it one more time, just to ensure I've got even coverage on there, because I don't want it to miss anywhere. There we go. That is meant to be clear, by the way. It's just that my pad is actually mucky. It's well loved. So I am going to use a white embossing powder. So I think you'll be able to just see that there. There it is, nice and clear. And there's no mess around the image. I know it's going to heat emboss beautifully. So I'm just going to heat emboss this through. I'm just going to get my gun hot before I pop it onto the cardstock. This prevents the card from getting a wave or a nasty hump in your card. So as soon as my gun is hot, I pop it onto the cardstock, and as soon as the heat embossing powder changes, I'll just follow the powder with my gun. Can't see it at the moment, but it will come to fruition what's going to be going on soon. There we go. So let's get all arty. So just move this out of the way. So I'm going to do two colours today. I'm going to use like an aqua, very blue. I'm just going to pop a little bit on my mat here. And a darker blue. These are just watercolour tubes. I have some clean, clear water. So what we're going to do basically is just get this all covered, and it's going to get quite messy, but I'm okay with it. So just clean my brush off, make sure I've got no nasty colour in there from last time. I'm just going to drop a wash on top of here all over. So this is like a wet in wet technique really. So the cardstock is wet, and then we're going to drop our colour in. Now if you get a hump like that in your cardstock, you can wet the mat and then pop your cardstock down, and it sticks to the water. It should stick to the water, and it stops it from popping that hump in there. See there? So it's taking the hump out of it. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the two colours separately so we don't get a muddy mess. So I'm just going to mix some of this. I'm just going to drop it in, just random. what will happen then is your artwork will just seamlessly come to life without really working at it. So I'm just cleaning my brush off. I'm going to pick up some of the darker colour. Drop it into the areas where it's still white. Try my best not to, although I'm going to connect with the other colour, I'm trying my best not to contaminate so it mixes, so I do have the definition in the two colours. Mix a little bit more. You can already see there the artwork's coming to life. So what happens with watercolour is it always dries way lighter, so I am going to go as dark as I possibly can because I know it's going to be a lot lighter. Get rid of all that blue in there, pop that in there. I think that'll be fine. Now if you're not happy with how it's gone like that, you can get a spritz bottle and spritz it to get it to blend a little bit more. So if you're not happy with how it's turned out, if you just let the water just do the carrying around for you, rather than you getting your brush and trying to make it work, just let the water do it for you, look. So there are a couple of options. As I always say, don't put yourself under any stress. It's a piece of card. If it don't work, we'll just do it again. So I'm just going to blast this off with my gun. I'll just get rid of that blob there. There we go, and that one there. So I'll blast this off with my gun. So I always find that if you do your heat embossing first, it works better, just simply because if you do the watercolour element first and it's not absolutely dry, it's just going back to what I said earlier about the embossing powder sticking to any moisture. If the card's even just the slightest bit damp, the embossing powder sticks all over. So I always do the heat embossing first, then add the colour. And you can see it's already drying back lighter, but when it is dry, if you're not happy and it's not quite as bright as you'd like it to be, you can always go back on and add a second layer, a third layer. So we're getting there, nearly done. So the reason I'm doing this demonstration today is because I have actually done a video on this one, but I have had a few comments saying it's a little bit fast and they didn't quite know what I was doing. So I decided to do it again in slow motion for those of you that struggled with the fast VT. So when you're absolutely certain it's dry, which we're nearly there, I think we can go for that one. So just let's get a tidy station. So here we are. Is it still a little bit wet? Nope, we're doing all right. So I'm just going to grab a smaller paintbrush, so this is size 4, and all we're going to do is we're going to re-wet this flower in the areas, and we're going to take some of the colour back out. And I think this is called like a bleaching technique. It isn't my technique, I cannot claim the technique unfortunately, but I think a lot of people love to do it and probably have been doing it for a while, but it is a fabulous technique. So I'm just going to pop some water back into the area. So we'll focus on this flower here so you can see what's going on. So I'll pop some water in here. I'm just going to give it a second for the cardstock to drink the water. So I think there's 5 petals here, so we'll do these 5. So it looks like nothing's happening at the moment, but I'm just going to give the cardstock opportunity to drink the water that I'm popping on there. And then while that's working its magic, I'm just going to grab a bit of tissue, so it can be everyday tissue or blue roll, whatever you use in your stash at home. I'm just going to turn this into a little bit of a dabber. And when you press it onto the petal, can you see how it takes the colour out? It's absolutely fabulous. And if you find it's not lifting enough, which it's not doing it for me as much as I'd like, all I'm going to do there, because it already looks fabulous, all I'm going to do there is I'm just going to re-wet it. Make sure you put plenty of water on so it does have the chance to drink the ink back up. So let's turn this one round and we'll do these 2 leaves here. So I'm just popping the water on there. So I'm just going to give it the opportunity. There, I'll just grab a bit of blue roll this time. So whilst it's sat there, I'm just going to get some blue rolls. And these 2 petals here, what we've wet, this is what happens. Watch. Look at that. You can't, it's really difficult to show you on here, but it is working. And all you do is you just bleach it back out of the flower. So what happens is the background stays, there we go. The background stays bright and prominent and the rest of it fades back like it's muted. So I'll carry on and just do the rest of it. So I'm just going to wet the whole. So you can see already it's lightened it. Now you could keep going and going and going on this. Might just put plenty of water on there. So I'm trying to do this as quick as I can so you can see. So in this instance it is better if you can avoid going over the lines because it'll dilute the colour out of the line, out of the outside of the lines as well, and that's not what we're trying to achieve. So I'm just covering it all in water now. So we could go back over this one if we wanted to, try and get a bit more out of it. And then we just use the tissue. There we go, look how fabulous that looks. It looks a bit like vellum, doesn't it? See there? Looks a bit like vellum, it's complete. Now, if I had more time, I would go over it again one more time with the water just to see if I could just get a little bit more out of it. But don't think if you use a dark colour on there, you will get a better result. It's not down to the colour, it's down to your cardstock. So if you're using a relatively cheap cardstock, you might not get as much lift. When you come to add the water, it might pill a little bit. So I've used watercolour card here. So try and use something a little bit better than traditional cardstock, because it will pill and it will frustrate you if you're trying to pull some colour out and it's not working. So I'm happy with that one. In fact, I'm more than happy with that one. So let's just set this aside. So I am just going to grab some white ink, because my artwork would not be the same without some white splashes on there. So I'm just going to pop a bit of white on my mat here. Pop some white splashes on here. Not a lot, just a few. Just around the edges there. Just to kill that open space. There we go. So we'll just get tidied up and then we'll move on to the next stage. More ink on my mat than there is on my artwork. So I'll just dry this one off. So it doesn't really matter if you dry from the front or the rear. Don't think there is a right or wrong way, it's whatever suits you really. So there we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a lovely sentiment to this one. Now in the lovely set you get quite a longish one, which is perfect for like your DL cards and things like that, but you also get some chunky ones as well, so quite blocky font. So I think we will go for this one. So I am just going to grab my Eureka. So for this physical card here, this is watercolour card. Because of the bleaching technique, I wanted to get something that I knew would work. General day-to-day cardstock is fine for watercolouring, but if you're trying to do the lifting technique, I always find this is a little bit better. So let's pop it on there. In fact, I am going to go through my image. I'm going to go there so it looks a little bit arty. Hopefully it'll allow me to, because the card's got quite a big cockle in it there. But I am going to go for it. So because I'm going to use heat embossing again, now you all know me, I love my black sentiments, but because I'm going to go for heat embossing again, I'm going to use my anti-static bag again. Now it will leave powder everywhere, but don't stress it, it does brush off. I need to ensure that it's absolutely dry, or else you'll end up with an awful mess. So Versamark again. So I've done lots of techniques using this physical free members gift stamp now. I think there's about 10 videos on there. So if you have a QR code on the back of any packaging you received, or if you're just on the browse, all you need to do is pop onto Stamps by Me, and there are several videos on there showing you how you can get the most out of this lovely stamp set and die set if you've got the die set as well. If you wondered what that noise was, I've just knocked all my inks over. I won't be able to leave the building until they're tidy as well. So I'm just going to pop some more white on here. Now it would look lovely in gold, if you wanted to do it in gold as well. But you see there how clean and crisp that looks because I used the anti-static bag. If I hadn't have used the anti-static bag, it would have all stuck to the ink and the white splatters that I've done. So if anything, it's a staple item, you need to get an anti-static bag. So I'll just heat set this one. Just get my gun hot. I do hope everybody does enjoy the live studio. I have really missed it. We did have a few problems, but touch wood, we're back on it. So it'll be every Monday and every Wednesday. General time is 4 o'clock. It only ever changes should I be on Create and Craft It live on Create and Craft. So just keep an eye out on the Facebook page. Right, so there, let's get this onto our card. Just set this aside. So I have a black top folding note card here. I have some Gossip glitter card as well because I thought it might frame it. However, because we've got such a cockle in our card, as in the wave, it's going to be very difficult to adhere that on there. So I'm going to adhere it after the show. But before we go, I am just going to pop some sparkles on there. Before we do, sorry, not before I go. I'm just going to pop some sparkles around the flowers. Like so, and then I will mount it, and I'll also use the sparkle pen just to put a bit of sparkle in the leaves. So don't forget to pop a comment on the Facebook page because this is where we give our cards away. There we go, so it's super sparkly now. So I will get that put together for the photograph so you'll be able to see. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly move on to our second demonstration. I have done a lot of it ahead of time because I was mindful we only really had half an hour and the half an hour is up. So I'm just going to construct it if that's okay, but you will generally get the gist. So Colourful Cards 1, these were launched a couple of weeks ago. They sold out in 24 minutes and there was a lot. So if you managed to get hold of these, well done. All I can say is stand by for Friday because I believe we may have some more for you. So if you did miss out, keep an eye out for Friday. So it's basically a card in a die, or you don't have to use it as a card, you can use it as a matte and layer. And again, if you got the packaging, there is a QR code on the back. Scan the QR code, it will take you to all the demonstrations using this specific product. So you'll not be left alone, you'll be able to get some encouragement and some inspiration through that QR code. And I know a lot of you have been making some beautiful makes with these. I've been smiling from ear to ear seeing makes from these, so well done everybody. So also in that collection we had the lovely rose, which I've stamped it in blue and blue. And just grab my other element. Anyway, so basically the card has these elements here, and I've popped some diamantes on here, and I've popped a score line in to create the card blank. So this is what it looks like as a card blank. And then this element here, you can do whatever you want to do with it. If you don't want to use it as a card, you can use it as a topper. If you die cut the base and you want the same reflection on the other side, twist the die around and you can do the same on the other side. There's so much you can do with these. So I'm going to pop it on here. And I am just going to grab my things which are under here, thank goodness. So I have another leaf here and I have this navy piece of cardstock to coordinate here. And I am going to use a stamp from the members gift because they are really lovely. So I'm going to use Happy Birthday. So I'll just set this aside. And because we've got the lovely card blank in white, I'm going to go ahead again. I know it seems like I'm using a lot of white today. And I am going to do it on the textured side because I think it's nice. I'm just going to pop this on here like so. And I'm going to use my anti-static bag, get it covered in powder, and again, sticky ink pad. And just do it one more time, it's just missed on the top of the 2 P's on there. Oh, there it is. I believe there's lots of new people watching today also, so thank you for taking the time to tune in. I hope you've enjoyed the live studio. I do love doing the studios, and I know a lot of customers love watching the studio, so thank you so much for tuning in. We do try and do something different week on week, whether it be one of our new launches, whether it be we visit some of our earlier stuff. It's always lovely to go back and revisit things, you know, because sometimes when we buy these things we use them once and they get put away, but you know, if we can keep getting them out and using cross-pollinating with other products, then it's money well spent in my opinion. So I'm just going to get this hot. You can see how lovely that one is. So I'll just set this aside. So I'm just going to give that a second to settle, and then when it's settled, give it a good rush, and then you can see you can get rid of all the powder on there. So it's not, you know, it doesn't rush off once you've heat embossed. So let's have a look at how we're going to construct the card. So there's a few ways we can do it. We can set it to the side and we can pop it, or you can pop it in the centre and pop the sentiment on here. So let's trim this one down and then we can see where we're at. Make sure it's straight. So I thought maybe we could do a flag popping out of the side. Too big, it doesn't look quite right. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to trim it down a little further, and we'll mount it onto the bottom. This is the great thing about card making. There is no right and wrong way. We can just go for it, and whatever suits your style, how you are, it's just amazing. I just love it. So I'm just going to take a pad and maybe pop that in the centre. Let's just see. I'd probably still offset that. Yeah. So I'm just going to stick this flat first. Let's get some pads on there. I'm just going to pop one pad in there. And then these elements I'm going to stick flat. I don't like a lot of dimension on my card, so if I always do something raised, I always do the rest flat. Make sure I don't stick my card shut, which I have done carefully. There we go. And then this one. No, I'm not. There we go. So there you can see a lovely handmade card. Now, if I had a pen, let me just quickly check to see if I have or if I haven't. Nope, I would just edge this corner with a stitch detail just to get rid of that blandness, maybe in a blue. But the world is your oyster with these products. So all I will say is if you have bought the products, please enjoy using them. I love creating them for you at home, and I have seen some of the makes and, you know, knock out. So thank you very much. For those of you who haven't maybe seen me on TV, I am there tonight, 8 o'clock, with some knockout prices. So if you have tried the members gift and absolutely loved it, it's a great opportunity to maybe buy something else, try something else from the Stamps by Me range. So whatever you're doing this afternoon stroke evening, have a good one, enjoy the Easter break, enjoy the sunshine, and look after yourselves, and I will speak to you all on Wednesday. See you later, bye.